Hey, what's going on, my Evolve North County fam? I'm your girl Kelly, and I'm here to give you the rundown on what happened in St. Louis County government this week because my job is attending the meeting, so you don't have to. I'm going to get right to it to provide a few highlights of this week, which, we just had the St. Louis County Council meeting as well as, my legislative corner to let you know kind of what some legislation we're peeping over here with Evolve. So, real quick, first and foremost, y'all, I attended the first in-person meeting of the St. Louis County Council in well over a year. So it was really interesting. Shout out to the Post-Dispatch. They took a picture of your girl, yours truly. Yes, I was there in full effect. My hair was popping, had a great hair day yesterday. But all jokes aside, I was actually present to provide a public comment. Our action team, we have launched an advocacy campaign that is calling on the St. Louis County Council to monitor liquor store density to curb the proliferation of liquor stores in North County. So hit me up on Evolve or whatever if you want to lend your voice to that cause. But I was there to provide the comment because, to provide your comment, you have to be in person now since the meetings are in person. But you can still view the meetings from, the comforts of your own home. So, but yeah, it was very interesting being there in person, seeing folks in the flesh, because I've just been, looking at folks through the screen for the past year or so. But I will say the most interesting thing was really being witness to these other public comments. And so, y'all, thank God for my mask because I'm a very facially expressive human being. And I know I was looking at them people like, what in the hell? So, yes, people was going in on Brother Sam Page last night, as always, and he wasn't present. He actually, he was on video. So he wasn't physically there. So people was calling him out, calling him a coward for not showing up. And also, they called for his resignation. They're like, look, bro, you need to go ahead and resign tonight. So, yeah, I was gagging. But, again, my mask hid all of that. So, thank goodness for that. But another highlight I did want to mention was the bag, right? The coin, ARPA coin. So ARPA, it stands for the American Rescue Plan Act, and I've kind of been speaking to this. Hopefully folks, have heard that obviously, we got some coin coming this way. In the meeting last night, we learned, there are these new kind of restrictions that are rolling out regarding how local governments can spend this coin. And so I know one of the things that was mentioned last night was that, when we're talking about personnel costs, those things, they're kind of limited in being used using this coin. And so Councilwoman Day, she had introduced some legislation that would increase the pay raise for certain folks by $2 per hour, but she said she was going to kind of put that on pause because, again, she believes that they may not be able to utilize ARPA funds in that manner, and want to make sure that they are complying with what they got to do with this federal coin. Something else we learned is that ARPA coin can be spent on implementing vaccination incentive programs. And so this is really interesting because also last night, Councilwoman Shalonda Webb, she actually, in the communications and the agenda, she requested the preparation of legislation that would basically, if approved, it would implement a vaccination incentive program. So I don't know, folks might be getting some coin once they get vaccinated in St. Louis County. I don't know. We'll see. Speaking of, and also, I do want to mention that, yes, the ARPA coin, the bag, it has been received by St. Louis County. We talking roughly $193 million. So obviously the county council, they are still, deliberating and figuring out, how to allocate that coin. But the bag is here, y'all. So, I'll definitely keep you posted on how that coin is going to be divvied up. Now on to our legislative corner, my favorite part of the rundown. So I did want to lift up some pieces of legislation that I'll kind of be peeping to see how it continues right down the road. So Councilwoman Clancy introduced and perfected legislation, making things a bit more consistent. So I'm specifically speaking to two pieces of legislation. So the first is regarding and really increasing and making sure there are more supports with regards to and protections with regards to discrimination. So making sure folks aren't discriminated against. So she mentioned that she just wanted to keep things consistent with like the gender neutral language that's used, as well as, like the Crown Act legislation that was passed as well. She wants to make sure that all of this legislation language is really kept consistent when we're talking about protections against discrimination. And then also, she also provided some tweaks and some changes with regards to her legislation, if passed, that would enact a youth advisory council. And so I know the change was made to kind of make the stipend that these members will receive consistent with, other boards and commissions and, those types of advisory bodies, just to keep it consistent, right? Keep it the same. And then there was some legislation that was passed. I'm going to lift up one from Councilwoman Day's Bill number 142. Will accept and appropriate an additional $75,000 in Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act National Dislocated Workers Grant Funds from the Missouri Department of Economic Development, Office of Workforce Development, which will bring the total funding for this grant that supports workforce development to a total of $166,000. So that's all I have for you this week. Please stay safe, and you'll see me soon. Peace.